Welcome, loves. It has been a while. 2 weeks is a long time not to see you guys. How is everybody doing? I think I was gonna play a little bit of music tonight. Let's see. We are happy to be back for this episode tonight when monogamy meets non-monogamy. We are very happy to be here. Welcome back. Remember to follow us, like us, and subscribe to our channel. All right. Now, let's be honest. When we talk about monogamy and non-monogamy, most people hear conflict. Team loyalty, one side is about commitment, the other is about freedom. But love is a sport, and commitment and freedom aren't opposites. So in reality, both monogamy and non-monogamy are languages of love, born out of the same human need, which is to connect deeply without losing ourselves. So today, I would like to explore where the two words overlap, what they can learn from each other, and how both hold beauty and danger when practiced without awareness. Now, sans plus tarder, I am gonna bring our guest of honor tonight, Miss Marie Cassandre. Hello, Cassandre. How are
Hey,
you?
how you doing?
I am great. How about you, ma'am?
Doing well, doing well. Excited about tonight.
Yeah.
Having girl talk, being a guest on the Polly Pimps for the first time. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you for saying yes to our invitation tonight. Hey, I'm Christy. Thank you for coming on. Good to have you guys. Remember to jump in. I will post the link for anybody who would like to participate with us tonight. Just feel free. We love when you guys come on and give us a boost, to give us your opinion. And I feel like our topic tonight is really very, very, very inclusive. Although I always feel like our topics are inclusive because we always can learn from something that we are not super aware of, or even if we don't practice it, we can learn from. So, well, Hassan, if you would like to introduce yourself, well, first, for those who don't know me, my name is Me Too, the Haitian Hottie, Me Too Charles. I am one half of the Poly Pimps. So we're always happy to come and talk about relationships, um, health for your heart, health for your mental, health for your sexual desires, all of it. So tonight we have Kassan with us. She is a longtime friend, and we are both business women. So tonight she also have a very strong voice. So I wanted to have her as my guest so we can talk about both sides of loving.
Hello, hello, everyone. So tonight I am the other half of the Polly Pimps,
Yes, yes, you are.
temporarily replacing Sky. And tonight, I feel like people are going to be less uncomfortable to join in the conversation. You know, maybe not too scared to speak on taboo subjects. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Marie Cassandre Roche. I go by Cassandre, and I am a product of Georgia. I was born in Haiti, but raised in Georgia since a very young age. I think I was 6, 7, and I've always lived in Georgia. I'm not a transplant from another state, so I was raised here. So therefore, that's where a lot of people either know me, grew up with me, and and all of that. So. Been part of the community, help establish HLA, Haitians Living in Atlanta, which is a social group for Haitians that are living here in Georgia. I work full time for Emory. For a long time, I had a lot of side gigs. I was hustling. You
Yeah.
hear me? I was hustling. But God is good. I can say I'm in my soft era right now.
What's up, pretty girl? I love
I
it.
don't have to hustle as much, you know.
I love it.
the the hustle blood is still in me, but I don't have to hustle that as much, you know. God has blessed me with a husband,
Yeah.
and
Congratulations. I love it. I love it.
so he is great. He's great. We just celebrated our 1 year anniversary, September 1st.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Congratulations and happy anniversary.
Thank you, thank you. And so together we have 5 children. I have 2 from my previous marriage. I was married for about 16 years before.
Okay.
And divorce, and I was single. I was in the streets for about 6 years.
So he came and snatched you out? He's like, nah, you're not staying in these streets.
I was in the streets having too much fun. He was like, nah, come on.
I want this one. This one mine.
So so yeah, so I'm enjoying married life. I didn't think that I would have a second chance at doing this again. I think for a long time after my divorce, I was like, yeah, I'm done with it. Let me concentrate on raising these kids, get them off to college, then live a quiet life. But God had other
Yes.
plans for me,
Yeah.
and so he helped me find a very, or I was found by a
Yeah.
very nice man.
Yes. I love it. And I love him for you. I love
Yes, yes, he is absolutely the best husband. He is so affectionate. Everything that I thought I didn't need, he gives me, and the structure. And sometimes, as women, we sometimes move so fast. We have so many things we're doing, so it feels good to have somebody that's looking out for me and telling me to slow down. For example, when I do events and I'm hosting and organizing, and I can go the whole day without eating, drinking water. And then by the end of the night, I feel like I'm about to pass out. So he's there to tell me, all right, you need to sit down, everything's going to work out, and just, here, eat something or drink something. So, I mean, I could talk and talk and talk a lot about Michelle, but thank God for him. Thank God for him. So, yeah.
It's
So,
always good to have a great support system.
yes,
You know,
yes.
like recently I almost went to fight this lady. So um just a quick story. So I like a reading every once in a while. So I got in touch with this lady, she's a medium, and we were talking and she's like, "You do not believe in marriage." And oh, how did you know? I mean, obviously I'm talking to you. that's why, I do trust your intuitions and your
Mhm.
gift. Um, she's like, yeah, you don't believe in marriage. And we've not even talked about anything. We're just talking about other stuff. I said, no, I don't. And she's like, well, I'm going to tell you, you're not going to like it, but yeah, you're going to get married again. I was like, ma'am, I'm going to hang up right now. I'm
Devil's a
gonna hang
liar.
up right now because this is not happening. I'm not putting that card up. I'm like tearing it up like into pieces. Let's not try to put it back together. We don't want that. She's
Mm.
like, well, unfortunately, it's in the cards for you.
Oh,
We shall see.
never say never. Never say never.
I'm not
So,
gonna say it out loud, but I will say it. So, but no, I do love to see love, and I love going to weddings.
hmm
Always fun because I love to dance and eat and socialize. So, of course, please get married so I can go to weddings. But I also enjoy watching people be in love and support each other. And I mean, obviously, you don't have to be married for that, but it's great when two people decide to make that commitment. And
hmm
yeah, it's just beautiful. I just noticed that we are twinning on glasses. We have the same glasses now.
we all we look great
Yeah,
minds think alike.
exactly, exactly. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Lucy. Hey, Kevin. Photo
Hey,
by Serial
Lucy. Hey,
CK.
Ace.
Hi, guys. Hey, Maggie. Good to have you guys. Hey, Marquez. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, tonight's topic is when monogamy meets non-monogamy. Okay, so monogamy and non-monogamy both start with the same question. What do I believe love should look like? And oftentimes I find that our answers are usually based on conditioning. So, um, like, first of all, what is monogamy and what is non-monogamy for most people? Um, what is monogamy outside of exclusivity? I think
Well,
that's pretty much what people usually define it as,
hmm
exclusivity in
hmm
sexual and romantic choosing, basically.
yeah, committing to one person at a
Yes,
time. So,
yes.
yes.
Yeah, and non-monogamy is just the openness and the freedom, I guess, to choose how you shape, excuse me, your love, your relationship, and your life.
hmm
Yeah. So, how about what can you tell us? Because all right, well, for those who don't know, are you monogamous? Are you non-monogamous? How do you relate in love?
I am monogamous. I'm in a monogamous relationship where we both believe that, and we both want that we should be for each other only. I think what we should start with is saying that our opinions are based on most. It is not the law is not, it doesn't apply to everyone. So everyone, there might be a monogamous relationship that someone totally has different point of views as I do. So I want to make sure that we understand that when we're talking about most. We're not talking about all. Okay.
Right.
So we and I've been in monogamous relationships all my dating or adult life. Personally, I feel like it's for me to have a relationship, may it be dating or marriage. I feel like I want to belong to that person and that person belongs only to me. That is that feeling that I get. Like I want to be claimed, like this is mine right there and nobody else's. And special things that you can do to me or I can do to you are special only to the both of us and not to somebody else that can, that can walk down the street and say, yeah, I can do the same thing to your husband. And so then I lose that special feeling that I had, like I'm special because he, I'm no longer special because he does the same thing with somebody else. And so I think the monogamous part for me, because we are in a marriage, is choosing to commit to one another and only one another in our marriage. And so I believe that with non-monogamous relationship, it's just a different way of thinking about relationship, or a different way of receiving love or going after love. Whereas I want to be claimed by one person, and I want to have that special moment with one person. I feel like with a poly relationship, or people that they're okay finding, or they get whatever they're looking for from one, two, or three people. So it doesn't necessarily has to come from one person from their end.
Yes, I agree, because I think, like you just said it, I think a lot, the fight back, I would say, from the people who think openly is the ownership part, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I guess it's truly what aligns with you, because some
Yeah.
people want to be owned by
Yeah.
somebody else. Now, in some non-monogamy dynamics, like in BDSM, there are some form of ownerships,
Mhm.
play and things like that. But I think in general, non-monogamy usually fights the idea of possession, because most of the time the people, like, basically love isn't about how many people you give it to, but how intentional you can give it.
Mhm.
And also, a lot of people, they are afraid of being shrunk to nothing, basically, or losing their identity, because that's what a lot of non-monogamous people talk about. Because I mean, I've been on both sides.
Mhm.
um my early adult life, I was always in monogamous relationship because that's what they taught me to do, and that's what society said was acceptable. um but I always found, in all those relationships, there, in some way or another, I had to give up part of myself.
Mhm.
I couldn't be my full self, my true self, because this other person was uncomfortable with me being who I was.
Mhm.
Um, so that's why, personally, now that I'm living as a non monogamous person, I really appreciate uh, that dynamic, because I don't feel like I have to shrink myself for anybody. I value my freedom, my autonomy. Um, Although the idea of feeling special, yes, we all want to feel special to somebody, or several somebodies, you know. I think it's more the thought of, because you are special to me, then you cannot express certain part of yourself.
Mhm.
So I think that's where the fight comes in, when it comes to monogamy versus non-monogamy, because you give up so much of yourself most of the time. Again, like we said,
Yeah.
um,
Well,
it's we're
yeah,
talking in general, but not everybody. There's always
exactly.
exception.
Exactly. So I've seen examples in our friends' life where, things become different. Uh, do they lose themselves? Maybe. I know, for me, it's not about losing yourself. And again, I'm speaking as a two timer, so that means I had time to learn from my first marriage or past relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I see it as uh uh I want to, my husband and I are in the business of pleasing one another.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that is our goal. That is what we want to do, want to please one another. And so when he's pleased, then I'm pleased, and we have our little games, and so when I'm pleased, he's pleased. So if if he likes to see me a certain way, he's the one that's looking at me. I'm not looking at myself. And so if he likes to see me, let's say, in blonde hair, as a blonde, or wearing a corset or whatever it is, then I'm okay, even though I'm not a blonde hair person, and all of that, or I was in the beginning, but because I know he likes it and it pleases him. And when he's pleased, I'm pleased because things are, flowing and all of that. Then I don't see that as losing myself. I see that the same way that I try to please him, he's going to try to please me. If he knows that I like a long beard, but he really, that's a true story. He really wasn't a beard type of person, but he knows that I like the beard, and it turns me on, and I want something to yank and tug at whenever I want his attention.
You're already telling us what she does in the bedroom. Take notes, people. What you need
And
to do.
so,
Learn.
guess what? Guess who has a beard now?
Yes, I mean, why not?
Why not? And so the same way, if he knows, yeah, 5 o'clock comes, you're off of work. That means you're off of work, and you need to, it's family time now, it's me time, and all of that. But maybe before then, he was, he's like, okay, when I was single, I could at wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and get on the computer and work. But it's I don't see it as losing yourself, or maybe sacrifices, which sounds like it's something you're giving up. But if you truly want to please your mate, your partner, your husband, your spouse, whatever it is you want to please, then those things are minute compared to the end game, the big, what you get at the end of it. And so it's worth it. It's all worth it. And so but like I said, I've heard of stories where maybe a person wanted to go to school and be, a doctor, a nurse, a lawyer, and all of that, and they got married, and then, it was like that was put in the back burner, but they really didn't want to do it. And so they, and it becomes some type of, they have regrets. And so that's where it becomes like, oh, yeah, this was not me, and all of that. And so it's a hard thing to look at. But I think once you put what's really important, on the list, you do your list and you do your priorities, what's really important, then you'll know what can go, and what to keep going and pursuing in your life. So yeah.
I mean, so I don't look at what you just explained as losing yourself either.
Okay.
I'm gonna stretch that a little bit to explain what I consider losing yourself. Like, let's say your husband likes blonde hair, right?
Hmm.
So you color it for him because it pleases him. Of course, when we have a mate, it doesn't matter, monogamous, non-monogamous. If we know the person likes something, we're gonna try to aim to please, right? But the part where you lose yourself is like, now you like brown hair, and you would like the opportunity to color your hair brown every so often. I want to do my hair blonde for you, baby, to please you, but maybe once a year I would like to color my hair brown because I want to do this for me as well. And he's an absolute hell no. you're not doing that because I don't like that. I only like this, and that's
Mhm.
the way you're gonna look for me. So that's when losing
Mhm.
yourself comes in. It's not a problem to please your person
Mhm.
that you're with. We all do it. That's I feel like that's what we do when we love people.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes, compromising and all of that, but to what extent?
Right, right, right.
Um, because I see it all the time. I'm a hairstylist, and day in, day out, I'll have the wife or girlfriend who wants this style, but oh, I really want short hair right now because I don't have enough time to blow dry my hair, and I still need to look decent. I still need to look good.
Mhm.
There's a pressure to look good as well. But my husband doesn't like it, or my boyfriend doesn't like it. So now I'm stuck. So they sit in my chair. They're so miserable because even though what they want to do is a little bit more practical and also good for their self-esteem, now this person is telling them they cannot do it. So now they feel trapped. So that's giving up a part of yourself or your whole self. And
Mhm.
too many times we see people just cut off everybody in their circle, right?
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
gradually have to cut people off because the wife or the husband is not comfortable with this person, and that person you can't like I just saw it on Facebook. Somebody was like, oh yeah, when I got with my boyfriend, he handed me a new phone. It said no, old boyfriend is gonna call your phone. And I've had family members who had to change their phone numbers many times because the boyfriend was uncomfortable knowing that that person had other people in her life. And it's crazy to me because by the time you cut everybody off, then you become, and that's how a lot of abusive relationships start as well. I'm not saying everybody who does that is in an abusive relationship, but
Mhm.
most of the time it's a big telltale sign
Yeah.
of abuse. If you want me to cut everybody off, you only want you in my life,
Mhm.
there's abuse. I mean, you work with abused women,
Yes,
with
absolutely.
women as well.
Absolutely. That's a big, it's about control.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you reminded me because I forgot to say in the beginning. So I'm also the co-founder of International Women of Hope, which is a nonprofit organization that helps women from all walks of life going through any type of hardship. But we were the organization that started um, the awareness for domestic violence. So we took a stance against all forms of violence towards women in our community, and next March we'll be celebrating 15 years
Wow.
in as a nonprofit organization. And through our work, we have made so much positive impact. Not only in our community, but wherever our resources can reach. And we work in Haiti, and we've gone to Africa. We've gone everywhere, and so it's feel good work, but it's very impactful work because when we're gone, we wanna live a better place for our children, a healthier place so that they know what healthy relationships look like. And so going back to what you were saying is when you said that, the phone taken away or new phone, those are definitely telltale signs of control. And people think abuse is basically when a man hits a woman. That is not domestic violence. Domestic violence doesn't, if there is a code that's called from a police officer about domestic violence, it doesn't necessarily mean like they come and they see a physical altercation between a man and a woman or similar sexes. So it means financial abuse. mental abuse, child abuse, elderly abuse, all of that falls into under domestic violence, because domestic means in the home. So in the home, any type of violence, child abuse and all of that going on in the home is domestic violence. So we took a stance against that. So yeah, that was, and I can see why, going back between monogamy and non-monogamous relationship, why somebody would be scared to be with someone, just one person, and commit to that one person when they think that being married is like being in a cage or being in a prison. A lot of people have that mentality that, okay, maybe being married to one person means like I won't have freedom to go out or hang with my girlfriends, or talk on the phone, or have maybe friends of different sex, or things like that. So that might keep someone from being in a monogamous relationship, because when they think about it, maybe the freedom is more alluring to them, the freedom of being with multiple partners and not being tied down to one person, and being able to come and go as you please might be more of their speed, might be what they want to function the way they want to function. So, that is another point as to, why would somebody choose to be in a monogamous relationship as opposed to a non-monogamous relationship?
No, I mean, there are very healthy monogamous relationships. The unhealthy ones are the stuff that you just mentioned, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
not the only reason why somebody would choose not to be in a monogamous relationship. It's that part of the monogamous relationship a lot of times that want that control, like you cannot have, because we hear it all the time and people talk online about it. I mean, they in real life, and they are very proud to tell people, oh no, my woman is not allowed to talk to other men. I'm the only man she should have in her life, and vice versa. um People don't want you to go out. A lot of times, let's say, for example, they get this woman because she's flaunting online. She's showing the body, showing the booty, the angles, and all of that. But as soon as they get in a relationship with her, they're like, oh, you need to stop all that, because what are you looking for? I'm already here. Because they think this person was only looking for a man. That's why they were
Right.
posting on social media and being cute and all of that stuff. So they're always like, no, you got me now. Like, what else are you looking for? Why are you doing all these things? And then,
Right. Right.
of course, you cannot go on trips with your girlfriends because you guys are not doing like same things or healthy things when you go on. So it's always alive. So it's not necessarily
Look,
because
don't talk to me about that, because I went on a girls' retreat for this past weekend, a women's retreat, and then for the longest time, Michelle and his boys gave me crap about, oh yeah, you're going on a women's retreat, yeah, right,
Mhm.
So now I'm like, please go on a boys and a men's retreat, do that.
Yes. So I mean, it's truly, it's the conditioning that
Hmm.
we're used to. They teach us, men, women, once you are in a relationship with somebody, then there are things that need to stop immediately, because it is not normal to do those things when you're in a relationship. So I don't, it's not the reason why somebody chooses not to be in a monogamous relationship. Most of the time it's not just because they don't want to be tied down to one person. It's most of the time they think they know that being tied down with this person means that they have to cut everything else off as
Oh yeah, yeah.
well. I mean, I, like I said, I've lived monogamously prior to this life. And I had a relationship where my friend list started shrinking, or guy list
Hmm.
started shrinking. And if anybody knows me, they know, like, I grew up with the boys. I didn't have girlfriends when I was growing up. I played soccer with the boys. I spent my whole day with the boys. That's just the kind of energy I've always been attracted to. As I grew older, I started having girlfriends in my life, but I was always very cautious because certain emotions I didn't want to deal with when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to women. But as I'm more, older, more mature, I learned to balance my life and I can have both. But, at some point, my guy list started shrinking. I was even guilty if somebody liked me. It didn't matter if I liked them. Like, if they liked me, then it's my fault, that kind of stuff. So it's like you feel like you are in a prison. And that's why a lot of people are always fighting the idea of the monogamous relationship, the monogamous dynamic. And then on top of that, too, it's your time should be spent with me and me alone. If you're not at work, then you should be with me. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, well, I would like some time for myself today. If I don't want to spend time with this person, then they feel offended because why don't you want to spend time with me? I'm your other half. I'm this, I'm that. And it's like, but can I breathe? Because I'm still a person, I'm still an individual in this relationship. If I'm not healthy, our relationship is not gonna be healthy. If I can't feel a little bit of freedom to even be me, to be with myself, how can I give you the stuff that you want me to give you, the love? Because now resentment is gonna start building.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even go to the bathroom by myself with you without saying, like, what are you doing in there? Are you on your phone? Who are you texting? What are you watching? So all those things. So that's why that it's so many reasons,
Right.
but we have been conditioned, um, you know, to just cut off the rest of the world once we find out one person. But I don't think it's a healthy way to be. We have a couple of things that I would like to get to.
Okay.
Hey, Spellman. Hey, hey. Compromising in marriage is important. Yes, healthy compromises, because every relationships have compromises. It's just the healthy ones. We don't want somebody controlling in the name of compromising.
Yes, husband.
Hi, Michelle. A monogamy relationship is a romantic connection between two people who mutually agree to be exclusively romantic, emotional, and or sexual intimate with each other. Yes, we agree.
Oh, he's under there
He's on fire. Oh,
posting.
so your wife is here and you're on fire tonight.
Writing biographies. Oh my gosh. He said people may choose monogamy for various reasons, including personal preferences, a desire to focus on one person deeply, and experience unique prioritization, comfort, and familiarity. It can be a familiar and comfortable dynamic, cultural or religious beliefs, societal or religious norms often support monogamy. So I believe this is a Google search that he did for us,
Mhm.
particularly marital monogamy.
Okay.
Simplicity, some prefer the straightforwardness of having one relationship to nurture and maintain, minimizing jealousy. A single partner dynamic can something.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, there's that too.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, this person might need to be blocked.
Yeah, I couldn't read that. I don't know what that
uh, you
is.
have to be to be confident as an individual and as one.
Yes.
Exactly. So now, how about the emotional labor and communication? Because both systems require the emotional labor. It's just in different ways, right? So
Mhm.
monogamy often asks for sustained emotional attention to one relationship.
Right.
So you can't, and non-monogamy usually demands communication, being able to name your jealousy, your insecurities, time management, boundaries, all the things that people in monogamous relationships often suppress.
Mm.
Yes.
Well, that goes again. it can't be said for all, but
Right.
maybe some. But for us, in for me and my relationship right now, communication is very important. So, verbalizing and voicing my needs. I want attention. I want, what is it that I'm lacking, or also not expecting my joy to come from that person. Like I have to find my own joy, right? I have
Mhm.
to find the source, that if that person is not able to do something, or is doing something not to my liking, then I'm not gonna lose my shit. I'm not going to be depressed and all of that. We're all human. We all have human emotions, but knowing that my source of joy, like, I cannot he- make him responsible to make me happy all the time, like, and so communicating that what he's doing is not what, or something that he has done is not making me feel good, or I'm upset by something he has done. I have to be able to be free to express that, and so does he. But in the meantime, just expressing to my husband that I am not happy with him, or he's not happy with me, does not mean that we don't love each other, or we don't, or that's the first opportunity we get, we go in and be with someone else, or with divorce or anything like that. It just means that we have to work this thing out, because why did we decide to get together in the first place? Knowing your why is very important. Like, what made you pursue me? What made you interested in me? Was it, just like you said before, like, what was it about me? Was it my carefree, attitude? Was it me going out? Was it me dressing a certain way? Was it me being fun? And then all of a sudden, it's a different thing now that we're married. Is, you have to be able to sit as a couple and talk about these things. So that's what I do now in my marriage. And also, we are very intentional about joining marriage groups, marriage clubs, and we have a club that we're part of, Rendezvous L'amour, and then we have other social clubs that we're part of, which is just couple based. So you know that you're not the only one that's going through some of the hiccups, or some things that are going on, and how they manage to get through to it. But definitely communication. Another thing for me, for the emotional aspect of it, is trust. I have to be able to trust you. I have to be able to trust you so much that I think being naked physically shows you being vulnerable, right?
Mhm.
So the person sees everything that you hide every throughout the day under clothes, right? The people see what you want them to see. They see the, well put together person. They see somebody smiling. But as soon as you take off all the layers and everything, you're my soulmate, my husband, the person that I am doing life with, gets to see all of it, things that others can't see. So I have to be able to trust that you are not going to use what you see as a weaponize either the things that I say to you in private, the things that we do in private, the things that we express to each other, and then weaponize it when we are not in a happy space. And then you hear all these negative things of what things you've done, or, what you want to do. And so people have to trust, so that they don't live with fear of not being able to communicate with their spouse. And so that's something that we practice a lot. And monogamy doesn't have to be a suppressed lifestyle. I think monogamy, it gives me the freedom to be wild, right? There are some things that I feel like I can't do in public, and I can't say. It might be because of my children watching me, might be, but being able to have my husband there, and I can express some things or do some things that maybe you would have never thought Kassan would do, but I'll be doing them. And
Yeah. Yes. have that person.
Yeah, and then we just can express it with each other and only with each other, and say, and that person is gonna keep it safe and do what it needs to be done, so that we can both feel good and safe in that same in that covering. Marriage is a covering, so in that sanctity of marriage. And so yeah, so I think there's something like it says that the marriage bed is undefiled. So so anything goes. So I feel the freedom that I can do any. If God calls on the phone to be like, "What you doing?" I'd be like, "Sure, you get me a husband. I'm doing anything you want me to do."
Exactly. I totally support that, and I trust is definitely something to have in any kind of relationship, and especially
Right.
a monogamous relationship. Any relationship, like if somebody's gonna throw so, and that's why so many of us have walls, right? Because we trust. Like if I called you Kasan and told you something that I don't even share with other people, and then when we're not, in agreement with each other, you're just like, oh, you this happened to you because you this way or that way, or
Mm-hmm.
like you throw it back in my face. Now it makes me feel like, what, she betrayed me and I can't
Mm-hmm.
trust other people, because what's to stop them from doing the same thing that she did to me?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I am one of those people. I'm very cautious about certain things. And now there's not really much in my life now anymore that I that I can be like, oh, I'm not gonna tell this person, it's just the one thing I felt like that I held in for a very long time was an abuse that happened when I was a kid. But and then it was thrown back in my face, and I was like, oh my God. But
Mm-hmm.
once I became free of that, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what, there is nothing in this world right now that I can tell you. If I open my mouth and tell you, you must believe, you must trust that you can go out and say it on the internet and it's not even gonna bother me, because I'm okay if it comes out in the world as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So no secret here. My life has no secrets. Um,
You're an
but
open book.
exactly.
And I love that. I love that about you. And I also love that when we're able to tell our truth and be open with the world, people can't use these things to weaponize against them. Like, somebody comes to you and say, "Oh, Tifisa, she sleeps around, or she has
Mhm.
multiple lovers." They're like,
And
yeah,
what else?
I told you the news. So what are you telling me right now? What's the point? Come on, come on, come on,
I
make your point.
exactly. Like one time somebody was like, oh, why don't you go sleep with your three boyfriends or whatever? I said, oh, I am so insulted. Like, three? That is like, what kind of number is that? Like, I don't do less than 10, sir. So,
on a,
like,
on a
no,
slow day,
yes,
on a slow
yes,
month.
on a slow day. My number is 99. Go sit down somewhere. If you think you're gonna try and shame me with that, what kind of number is that? I am no newbie here. Like, get the fuck out of here. So, anyway, so yeah. But I also believe in emotional literacy and maturity as well, because some people, obviously with that comes no communication, and
Mhm,
so it's always good to be with somebody who is emotionally secure,
mhm,
who's not gonna play some tricks on you. you know
yeah.
um like, so one time I was talking to a friend of mine and we were just talking about jealousy, because a lot of people, they don't even know how to express jealousy. They don't know what they're actually experiencing in that jealous feeling, right? They just say, I'm just jealous, I can't do this because I'm jealous. And so I asked my friend, I was like, so what do you feel when you're jealous, when you're in that space? She's like, I don't know, I'm just jealous. And I'm like, okay, well, can we sit down and pick it apart and see what it is that you feel like you're jealous about? Do you feel like you're not gonna get enough of his love if he likes somebody else? Like,
Mhm,
what is it that we're experiencing? Are you envious of somebody else? like, what? And she was like, I don't know. Like, why are you trying to talk to me about this? I just said I'm jealous. That's all you need to know. So being able to identify our feelings as
Mhm.
well is very important for communication, because if I'm telling my mate I'm just jealous, like, how is it supposed to help me when I truly don't even understand what I'm experiencing? Okay, so
Right.
what are you jealous about? What are you feeling right now? Are you angry because I'm talking to this person because you think I'm going to love you less if I'm talking to this
Mhm.
person? Or
Mhm.
like, what are we talking about? Most of the time, we don't even have the words or the
Mhm.
understanding of what we're feeling. So,
Yes, emotional intelligence, being able to verbalize your feelings, being
yeah,
able to communicate. That's very important because sometimes we just know how to feel and not express it in a way that tells the person when, what, where, as you said, like, what are the boundaries? Maybe there is a boundary that you don't feel comfortable, or, like in the beginning, like I told you, for me, I've
mhm,
learned that about myself. The part of being claimed is something very important to me. So, as in, like, I know I read these romance books with the werewolves, with the wolves,
uh-huh,
and then they claim their mate, right? And so they become their protector. They become, so there is a part of me, I guess, because I'm so dominant in the outside world, that I want to be a submissive in my relationship. And
yeah,
so I would love, I love it when my husband becomes a dominant and says, no, you can't do that, or no, go sit your butt somewhere, or
yeah,
how we used to be back in the day, when we used to support events in the community, like we would to do like 3 events in one day, remember, and
yeah,
just like be so tired and broke because we were
yeah,
all trying to
yeah.
we're
We're
just
trying to support
supporting,
everybody.
everybody's having events the same day. We would just go, 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 and support all three and pay and this and that. And so now it's like having someone to tell me no, it's what I needed. It's like, no, you don't need to do that. And so what's in me, what's innate inside of me, that needed that person to tell me, like, you need to slow down, or you need to do this instead of that, then
Mhm.
welcomes that. Well, that might not be the case for every woman. Every woman, there are women that are dominants and that would attract submissive men. And being a submissive man doesn't mean that you're a weak man, or that it's just
Right.
something, yeah, it's just something innate in you that likes when, because you're out there as a man doing everything and providing and all of that, and being the alpha male. But there comes a point, maybe in the inside, in the safety of your relationship, where you're like, you need that woman to tell you, get on your knees and do, and then that
Yes.
brings the refreshness of, okay, I don't have to do anything. I can just take orders, and it just, and all of that. So, yeah. So emotional intelligence is knowing yourself. It's not knowing somebody else or what their things are. It's knowing yourself. What is it that pleases you? What is it? What are your triggers? Knowing your triggers. And I had somebody once tell me, saying "fuck you" to them is a trigger, because that something happened to them back in the day. But there are men out there, you say, "Hey, fuck you," and then it's like, okay, it rolls off their shoulder, and then "fuck you too," and then let's be happy. Yeah,
Life
and
goes
life
on.
goes
Not with me. Once those words come out, we're done. You better not say it, baby. Don't say it. Once they come
yeah.
out, we're done.
So that's what emotional intelligence is. That's what emotional awareness is knowing yourself, knowing what your boundaries are, and knowing how to express that to someone, saying that, you know what, I love you. I want to make my life with you. And so this is what my boundary is. This is what I'm willing to do. This is what I don't want to happen. Some women, the worst thing for them is being embarrassed. They just don't want
Right.
to be embarrassed. That's the
Mhm.
worst thing for most of the women that I know. Like, I put my trust in you. I'm over here taking pictures with you. I'm, showing you off. Don't embarrass me.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's
Mhm.
what they're trying to tell their partners. Like, don't be out there embarrassing me. I'm over here looking like a fool because I'm putting my trust in you, but you're out there doing all types of crazy things, making me think that you're something else when you're putting on a show for me. And so that's very, very important. And I think that's the bad side as people looking at non-monogamous relationship. That's what they equate poly to, is when men or women cheat.
Mhm.
you know
A
they
lot
don't.
of people
Yeah, a lot
misunderstand.
of people see that it's they equate a poly relationship. And what I've learned from listening to you and your lifestyle and everything is that poly has a lot of trust in there, and trust is
Transparency.
the base, yeah, for it,
Yes.
because you then know what what to expect, or you talk about what is it that you're comfortable doing, or what is it that there's a lot of trust with that. But with the monogamous relationship, especially in marriages that I'm seeing now, a lot of people are not happy. Are not. I don't know. They're looking for something that they cannot find in the partner that they have.
Mhm.
They're looking for an outside source for something that's apparently missing. And and I think them looking for it, sometimes they think they'll find it in another person,
Right.
but because they don't even know what they're looking for, they're just out there just doing all types of stuff while they're married, cheating and things like that. And for what? When you could really just sit down, have a conversation, and work through your stuff, and then stop lying out there. I think lies are destroying a lot of things. Stop lying. Just be your true self, your authentic self, and let people know what is it that you desire, what is it that you want, and you don't, or even if you don't know, to like, let's find out what is it that's going to make me happy. But to
Right.
lie to someone that you've made a commitment to, and you say, I promise it's going to be you and only you for the rest of my life, but then you come to a point where it's not you and only you, and you want someone else because apparently that person, you're going through some midlife crisis, I don't know. And so it's relationships. The way we think about relationships is very intricate as human beings. So I know we could be here for hours talking
I
about.
know. Yeah. And and lie is the key factor, right? Like you
Hmm.
said, because a lot of times, like you said, people think poly means this person is out there cheating and free for all or whatever.
Hmm.
But that's because I've had people who say, oh, it's cheating. And it's like, no, it's not, because cheating, the base of it is the deceit.
Hmm.
There is no deceit when I tell somebody you are not going to be the only person that I'm seeing. I am
Yes.
very open and honest. Will you be rejected? Absolutely. Just like everything else.
Hmm.
Like, don't approach people who are not living the same lifestyle, love style as you if you don't want to be rejected.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of times people think, oh, just because this person is poly, it's a free for all. Do
Yeah.
you know how many men I have had approach me thinking that, oh, like, so if I tell you I like you, that should be it. You should like jump in bed with me and all that. I'm like,
Mhm.
do you jump in bed with everybody who says they like you, every woman who comes, because I'm sure there are some plenty of women who like you, but you're like, oh no, it's that good up some like or something like, sir,
It's
like
a selective process.
exactly. I'm like, I don't even like you,
You're right.
not even as a friend. Like, why are you trying to get in my pants? Like, we're not even on that level.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and this is a similarity between the different types of relationship, right? Because there is a selective process. You don't just accept any man that says, "Oh yeah, I'm poly too," and then you
right.
just like and all that. There is a selective. There's your own personal process as well. Just like when I said when I was single. I could have been married and divorced 4 times,
Mm-hmm.
doing my 6 years, everything, I mean, it's like, being married was never an issue. Like,
Right, right, right.
like Monique said, that we never had that problem, no matter
That's great.
big,
Yeah,
small, it doesn't matter.
that's
They
it.
kept coming. And then I could have been like, yeah, sure, okay. And then divorce like 2, 3 months later because, buddy, no. Uh,
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, there is a selective process. Like when I finally said yes, I said yes because I saw a father figure. I saw somebody that my children could be safe around, and so all of that went into my head. And somebody that loved to claim me, that was the innate for me. Like she's mine, and so I love that. And so for you too, for the poly world, there is a selective process. It's not just because a man has a penis that you're like, okay, yeah, let's do this.
Right. Yeah, unfortunately, but a lot of people, that's what they think. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, man, I feel like we definitely don't have enough time to talk about this. But okay, maybe one last thing, like
Sure.
what do you think a non-monogamous person can learn from a monogamous person?
Oh, well, I think we went over it, but for me, I think poly people think that married people or people that are in monogamous relationship are enslaved or in a cage, or there is a box that they have to stay in. um I want to say today that's not true. If you make a commitment to be with that one person, for me, you're making a commitment to please that one person because you want to please them. It's something in you. It's not because you have to please them, but because you want to. You feel good when you please that person. And so, and it's the same for your spouse. Yeah, and it can't go just one way. It
Yeah.
has to be two people that want to please each other, that want to make their life with each other, that want to give affection to one another. And so I think one of the things that we can learn from one another is that um, the poly world is not as free as we want it to. We want to think as well. Like you don't just go around. There are certain steps that you have to make, especially just like in a monogamous relationship with our health. We have to be careful to who we're choosing, who we're exchanging bodily fluids with, who we're trusting with our lives, essentially. And so there are some things, there are some steps, there are some, are we going to the doctor? Can you get tested? Can we do this? And so there are some boundaries as well in the free loving poly world, right? Because I'm
Mhm.
sure if everybody was just doing what they wanted to do, there would be some very upset or very detrimental things happening in that sector of relationships. And
Yeah.
so I think what you could learn is that we are not, we're not enslaved or unhappy that we can't do certain things. I think the ones that are having very healthy monogamous relationships, are the one that are able to verbalize their needs.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that they don't have issues or problems, but once you're able to say, honey, I don't like when you do this, or baby, I'm going out, and or I have this girls trip coming up, and I'll miss you. And when I get back, things will be, I'll show you how much I miss you. So those type of relationships where you can communicate these things and your partner receives it well is a healthy relationship of respect, of trust, and of communicating with one another. So yeah, don't feel bad for us on this side. Your girl's having fun. Don't feel bad for us.
Good. I definitely want you to have all the fun. Hey, D said hi. Hi. Michelle asked one last question that I guess. What are the disadvantages of non-monogamous relationship?
Oh,
Oh,
that was for you.
I
So,
know.
so he so he's asking. So don't tell us all the good parts about it. So what are some of the bad parts of it?
Nothing is perfect. For me, like the dynamic that I prefer, I identify as a relationship anarchist, and basically I choose myself first and then the rest comes later. And also nobody has priority over nobody. Not because you've been here longer or whatever.
Oh,
Whatever.
you mean you don't have favorites?
No.
Oh,
I have favorites for certain things. We have favorites for this. Who gives the best head? Who gives this? Well, I mean, I'm just saying that's the only kind of favoritism you're gonna have. But at least that I have. What am I in the mood for today? I mean, let's take Haitian food for example, right? I love my Haitian food. That's my category. But some days I'm just in the mood for mac and cheese, and some
right.
days it's like, oh, let me have a little poisson. You
Yeah.
know, so it's whatever I'm feeling that day. That's what the favorite is for the day. But um,
So the
uh,
disadvantage of that is that you might not be the flavor of the day.
you may not be the flavor of the day. Exactly right.
Okay. Okay.
But probably like for me, because I don't plan to nest. Nesting is basically living with somebody, cohabitating
Mhm.
with somebody. I don't plan to get married. I don't plan to live with anybody, at least not in the near future. So sometimes, like I may be tonight, I may feel like, oh, I would like a little cuddle. But because we have to keep a calendar, I may call this partner and he's not available because he's with another partner, or he already had plans with somebody else, or with friends, with family. So the difference is, a lot of times in monogamy, you are expected to drop everything that you're doing to go tend to your partner. And that's another key difference too. Like in non-monogamy, sometimes, not, I'm not saying always, but just because you need me right now doesn't mean that I'm going to drop everything. I will support you however I can. But if the plans I have cannot be canceled, unfortunately, you're going to have to find a different way to satisfy your needs for the day. So just because you feel in a certain way doesn't mean that I'm going to pretty much stop everything.
Right, right, right,
So
right.
that's the only disadvantage for me. Is sometimes you might be in a space where you need certain support and it's not available.
Yeah. And the way you deal with that is because there is a calendar, you're not their priority, and there is a schedule. So how do you
It's
deal
not
with that mentally?
necessarily. It's
How do
not
you deal
necessarily.
with not having, let's say you feel a need right now for affection and cuddles, but you're calling guy number one, and he's unavailable, and you can't be mad at him for that, right?
No.
Yeah, you can't be mad at him. So you call guy number two, but he's, in another state working. And so how do you deal with that mentally as a poly person?
First, I'm gonna correct. It's not necessarily because I'm not a priority.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because a lot of times people think it's a lack of commitment, but that's why you want to be non-monogamous or
Right.
you be a priority. You can be a priority. Maybe at that moment I'm not the priority because there was already a prior engagement.
Engagement. Yes.
Yes.
There's a
Now,
calendar. Hmm.
yes. Now, as far as how I deal with not being able to get that need met, is by soothing myself or find other things to do. I'm not even gonna call guy number two because a lot of times you don't have, not a lot of times, you don't have the same connection with everybody.
Okay.
My cuddler is not the guy who shows up as a porn star.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So
Hmm.
if I need my cuddle guy and he can't come to me, I can't call my porn star because we don't cuddle.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just because I have maybe a list doesn't mean that I'm gonna go down the list if there's something that I need and this person
Ah.
just can't give it to me at the moment. If
Hmm.
this person can't give it to me, then I stay in my space and find a different way to deal with whatever it is. Um, Soothe myself, watch a movie, maybe watch some romantic movie, listen to Luther Vandross. I don't know. Like I'll find something to do as to how to deal with it, but
Okay.
it's not necessarily jumping down the list. Sometimes it might be that one thing that maybe everybody can provide, and you may go down a list and see who's available if it's a last minute thing, you
Mm-hmm,
know?
mm-hmm. That's good to know. That's good to know. Yeah.
All right. So, oh, there's another question. What are the disadvantages of a monogamous relationship? That's from D. Thank you, D.
What are the disadvantages? Um, I think for I like oh my goodness. I would say not being able to maybe the appetite, maybe your spouse's appetite might be in a higher level than what you would be able to keep up with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um so being that one person that can um give him that release or that pleasure or and all of that. So after round number 6, you're tapping out.
Oh my God. I haven't done that since I was in my 20s. Round number 6. Ooh, all right. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's because I have like
Let
so
me
many at the same time. Never mind.
No, but serious talk though. For me, I have really bad periods. I have really bad time of the month, and it's a medical condition with the clotting and the
Mhm.
overbleeding and all of that. So I know it's a time where I cannot provide that intimate session that he requires or he loves, and so I have to find other ways to make up for that, because I am the one that's my job, but for that time, during the time that I'm going through my health issues, then I'm not able to fulfill my job, and so I have to find other ways to release him and all of that. So this is, hold up, what time is it? 10 after 10, so it's grown
Oh,
folks,
it's
it's grown
okay.
folks.
Grown folks time. Yeah, we
put,
can
the,
make
put,
it last however long we need it to
put,
last.
put the kids to bed. It's grown folks talk right now. But yeah, so I think being the only person that's responsible for certain aspects of our lives, making sure that we fulfill the needs that we both have expressed, because that like I said, it goes back to communication. So he was very clear in the beginning that he has a big appetite, and
Yeah,
so
that's great.
I'm like
That's how you want it.
uh, and so yeah, so I think being responsible for that is a big it's a big job. And so I don't have a sister wife, and I don't want to share.
Mhm. Mhm. I get it. It's not for everybody. So even though sharing is caring, but it's not for everybody.
I don't want to share. And then and that's it brings us to a, oh my God, the time. It brings us to a nice aspect of it too. Why do monogamous women not want to share their husband? What is it about it? And when I think about it, it's different things. First of all, when I think about the intimate things that my husband and I do, the bodily fluids, the everything that goes along with being grown, and I'm thinking that he's doing that with somebody else and then coming back to me, and I'm like basically doing it to her, and I'm like, oh, that's too much sauce for me.
I mean, we can hold the sauce back. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff to hold the sauce back.
That's too much for me. And I'm like, so that's one aspect of it. Also knowing that, and I guess I think you touched on that, like who does it better,
You
who
don't want
does that.
competition?
Yeah, like who does this better? I better be the best one. Like, yeah, you can go over there, but that one, mine is better, right? Mine is better.
Yes, it is, baby. Yes, it is. You're the throat goat. Yes, you are.
So, hey, that goes back to emotional intelligence, knowing yourself. I'm talking about things that I know about myself. So when I check myself, like, why would I be mad that he's doing that with somebody? So is it because you think you're not good enough, or you think like you're not gonna be the special one that that can get him off that way, or somebody else has a better trick and all that stuff? So yeah, so I think that puts the married women or men in a spot where it's like competing, like who's the best, or they don't want to be able to to risk the chance of, okay, they found somebody better in that aspect, in that sexual aspect. So does that mean they're going to throw me away because that person can do it better than I can? Then, and so there is that.
Losing love, basically.
Yeah. So there's so much when we think about why is it that we think negatively of of a poly relationship, and why is it that we wouldn't want to be we don't want to be part of that. There are so many things that we think might go wrong, and we start overthinking and all that stuff. But the good thing is, once you find that partner, that one person that can keep up with you, that can meet your needs, that can do all of that, that you're not out there looking for anything else. So
That brings me to this question, though, because you had mentioned like medical
mhm,
needs and stuff. Let's say for a woman, because some of us, we go through a period for like 2 weeks, right? So, and sometimes we're not really in that mindset because our bodies are,
out
it's
of
not
whack.
war. So or even somebody with cancer, let's say,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? Or a guy who went through prostate cancer. All of a
Hmm.
sudden, we know what happens for a lot of them. They lose impotence, right? So, are you gonna tell your wife that she is never to have penetration for the rest of her life while you guys are like maybe let's say 50?
Right.
Just because you can't penetrate her? Or are you gonna tell your husband, like, while you have cancer, while you going through chemo, obviously
Hmm.
not feeling good, you're not doing, your body can't handle anything. A lot of women lose self-esteem.
Hmm.
If it's a breast cancer, they have to lose their breast and all that stuff. They don't even let their spouse look at them naked anymore. So, are you going to tell your husband that, yeah, while I'm going through this, you are not allowed to be a human being? You are not
Hmm.
allowed to have desires because I can't have those desires. Therefore, you need to be on the same boat as me. You need to suffer as well because I'm
Hmm.
suffering. And I understand solidarity, but sometimes, like for me, the joy for me is just because I'm suffering doesn't mean you have to go through the same thing I'm going through. I want you to be happy. I want you to be comfortable as you can be. So, like, what happens in monogamous relationships? Like, why do people feel like their partner has to suffer as well because they're suffering?
Well, okay, that goes back to making the commitment and wanting. Like, what is my want? My want is for him to be pleased and for me to be pleased. That's what we set down, and we that's our commitment. That's what we said. So if I'm sick to the point of I cannot provide that service for him, or he cannot provide that service for me, I think the fact that I know that my partner is suffering, it's I'm not gonna want to look for that. Like, that's not gonna be a priority for me with someone else at the time of my partner going through a medical issue. Just like that's not gonna be a priority for him. I would hope so, while I'm suffering, that he is then looking for released elsewhere. It goes back to the conversation, having a conversation with your committed partner, um, and both of you in agreement, not one person saying, well, since you can, but both of
Right.
you are in an agreement and having conversation, adults conversation, that sometimes don't feel right, don't feel
Mhm.
good, but are necessary. It can be about finance, about your sexuality, can be raising children, but these adult conversations need to be had, so
Mm.
that in these situations that are happening, I have friends that have prostate cancer, and or that's had prostate cancer, and performing is not, they're not able to perform some husbandly duties and all of that. But will they be comfortable to have that conversation with their wives, saying,
A
I
lot
know
of
I
them
can't
will not
provide.
even entertain.
Yeah, it would take a lot. It's a hard conversation to have,
But
and to know that that person loves you, that person wants the best for you, but like, are you okay with that person, getting released from an outside source that was one of your duties as their spouse? And so, yeah, it can get very intricate. It can get very, very hard.
and like you said, some conversations are very uncomfortable, but they still need to happen,
Yeah.
right? And that's a lot. A lot of times we run from hard conversations.
Mhm.
I I've had relationships where I've tried to have specific conversations, and it's like, nope, I will not have this
Mhm.
conversation. You know what's going to happen in that case? I'm going to have that conversation with somebody else
Mhm.
who may have an opinion or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is, but the fact that you are my better half, my other half, and at this moment we're not even friends. We can't even have like a conversation. You don't have to agree with me. I don't have to agree with you,
Mhm.
but we can have a conversation so you can understand where I'm coming from, where I'm
Mhm.
standing, and the
Mhm.
same for you. And like you said, like a lot of people go through life alterations that end up causing them not to be able to perform some. Yes, we can have all the love in the world for our spouses, our
Mhm.
partners, and all of that. But at the end of the day, we are physical human beings.
Mhm.
Love is not gonna make like get you through. It may last you for a couple months if it's a temporary thing, but if it's something like literally, if your only pleasure is penetration, and now you're telling me I am 40 years old and I should not have penetration just because you can't for the rest of my life. I don't know if I'm not going to live to be 100. Do you understand like what that means? Like, no, this is
All right.
unrealistic. This is in that's the kind of conversation I think people run from. It's
Yeah.
not gonna be comfortable. It's gonna be uncomfortable for the both of us because at the end of the day, I'm gonna feel like, oh, I don't want my husband to think that, oh, somebody else is jacking me up or
Mhm.
something.
Mhm. Mhm.
But we have to be realistic. And a lot of times it's selfishness that causes us to not even want to have those conversations because we know it's inevitable. And that's why so many people end up cheating. because
Mhm.
now you don't even want to have the conversation with me. So guess what's going to happen? I'm going to go behind your back. When you starve a child, they're going to start trying to steal
Your
food.
food.
It's there's just, we keep trying to go against certain things. Yes, you can maybe for a little while, but at the end of the day, we are people, we are human.
Hmm.
And some people are gonna say, "Oh, well, you should learn how to control things." For how long? Like,
Right.
how long are we
Right.
supposed to do that? And how long is fair to everybody? That's
Right.
when we should sit down and have the conversation, because you're asking
Conversation
something
matters.
that's not realistic.
Yep. You might cry, it
It's
might
always
hurt to hear some things, but
right,
conversation matters. And having that conversation, you might discover some shocks, some shocking things about you. So maybe the solution might be that if your person, we're using that example of penetration, but maybe it might be surprising to to hear that your spouse might introduce a toy, might
yeah,
introduce something. But if you never have that conversation, there's
right,
one person that's starving, there's one person that's dying, whatever.
right,
That we're using extreme
right.
circumstances right
Scenario.
now, but yeah. And nobody wants to hurt anyone, and so that's where the lies and the cheating and all of that happen. But conversation, hard conversations, and trusting that if I tell my husband that, okay, some things that well, you're not feeling well, or this is going to happen, and then I express to you what I want, and trusting that he will take that in
It's
instead of
consideration.
throwing it back
Yeah,
in your face or using it as a weapon and all of that, but find a solution together that works for the couple,
yeah,
together.
exactly.
So
And just let's not even go for the sickness thing. How about, because as we know, a lot of women don't ever even reach orgasm, right? So if you can't get me there, because it's just a thing that some guys may not be able to do, or they can, they just think it's only one way to do it. So some guys are not even open to
send them to
using a
school.
toy. A
Send them to
toy.
orgasm school.
I'm just saying. So some of them are not even open to using a toy
Yeah,
with
yeah,
their partner, because
yeah,
they find it threatening, because now you're gonna always want the toy. What if I always want the toy? What if that's that last cherry on top that
yeah.
I need? Like, why are you even feeling insecure about a plastic thing?
Right.
Right.
That,
Like,
that should
it
be
doesn't even have a
your
smell.
best friend right there. Like,
You should be like,
pull it out, baby, pull it
right.
out, cause
Where's Miss
I'm
Rose?
tired. Okay.
Bring her in. It's time, because I'm tired here. Let's go. Let's go. Let's finish this session. So it takes a lot. A lot of times it's insecurities to not lead that put people in those spaces. But again, that's a conversation, and
Yeah, yeah,
I have conversations with everybody. Like, this is what I like. I don't know. I'm grown. At this age, I know what I like. You can bring other things to the table, but if they don't work, then hey, let's try these things that I know for sure will work.
yeah.
I'm okay with trying new things. It's just I know
Yeah,
some
being
people
secure in yourself, in your masculinity or in your femininity, being secure, it has, it's like, I know you already know what you bring, right? To the boardroom and to the bedroom. So
yes.
being secure, and then being able to verbalize and communicate, and trusting that person to just, take all this information, and then you're working together. It's us against the problem, not us against
Right.
each other. And so knowing all these key things make a big difference in having a healthy relationship. And so yeah, so I'm team monogamy. uh,
Yes. And I am team non-monogamy, but we can still coexist, because at the end of the day, we are all looking for love, in people being intentional with us, people being proud to be with us.
yes.
We are all looking for that, whether I have 99 or 0. We are all looking for that. And so I'm going to leave you with this.
So I have one, but his one is like equal to like four.
Oh, I love it. All right. So I'm trying to figure out the numbers to see how many I'm going to need to get to 99. But I mean, it's still quite a while compared to yours, but yes, I love it. So, so tonight I want to mention we have Polyween weekend next weekend. That's for the poly folks. We have a whole weekend of shenanigans. Um, we have our third Thursday, Bonfire Friday, Polyween itself, which is a costume party. People, it's not sex parties, so don't get any ideas. And it's just us poly folks getting together and being in our space and enjoying each other's company. And then we have a brunch on Sunday, so we're gonna be busy mingling with new people, meeting new people, mingling with the ones that we already know. It's going to be amazing. It's in PBD, and I think there are still tickets available. If some of you guys are thinking about going, you don't have to do the whole weekend. You can do some of the days or all of them. But if you're interested, PBD is where to be. Poly Black and dating. That's where it's happening. Please remember to follow us, like us, subscribers. Please go like our Facebook page. We need followers. We need followers and all the likes and all of the stuff. Because also, if you like this conversation, share it with a friend, with a family member who can benefit from it. Everybody can actually benefit from this. So please remember to share all our information with everybody. Oh, somebody said something. Oh, that's him
Oh,
jumping on another thing.
no.
Oh,
Listen, and listen. It's an hour and 30 minutes.
I
We're
know.
not.
In a non-monogamous relationship, have you ever double booked? I have before, and I had to like fix it, and I have fixed it. So there you go. There you
You
go.
know. Well,
It's not always pleasant to do that. So, Casa, maybe you can type in where people can find you to follow you and all the great work that you're doing for the women, for the community, all of that stuff.
I don't know how to do that, but
Oh,
listen.
in the comments.
You got me on YouTube over here. Listen, I wanted to say that I love my poly friends, and you and I, as you mentioned, have been friends since our babies were in diapers. And
Yes.
I saw you birth your last one, and my oldest is now 17, and we used to carry them in car seats and all of that. So I love you. Continue what you're doing. You know, I know you put your safety first. If there is anything that I was worried about, is that you don't get snatch out there. But that's with all my friends, poly or not.
I
I don't want
It's
them to
always like
steal.
it's
I
this
don't want them to
weather.
steal you to steal you out there. But
Um,
um, I love you. Continue to live in your truth, unapologetically, and I hope that you come to a point where you say, you know, I'm content. I love who I am. I love what I do, and that you're nothing missing, nothing is broken. And be safe out there. I love seeing you thrive and flourish in your world, and so that's all we want for each other, is for each other to find happiness, to be content, to be healthy, to watch our children grow and make their own lives. And so continue to do that. I am rooting for you. I am cheering for you as always, and I love you.
Thank you, Casa. I love you too. And you've said it all. Our children, we go way back,
Oh
people. We
yeah.
go way back.
Oh yeah.
So thank you so much for coming on. And guys, you don't have to be non-monogamous to be on this show. If there's something you want to talk about, we're always open to talking about any and every topic. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for supporting me. Yes. we are going to continue to love abundantly and just keep choosing the people that we choose. Love is not a rule, it's a practice. With
Mm.
that, you guys have a good night and go follow us and subscribe to the channels. Thank you. Good night, baby.